Hello everybody, welcome to the Stripe Show. I'm your host, Travis Fulton. We're coming to you live right here at PGA Tour Superstores in Jacksonville, Florida. We're celebrating a very big day in the game of golf. It's Women's Golf Day, the third annual in the sport. We can't thank everybody enough for being with us here today. How about this, a live audience? We're really stepping it up here in the Stripe Show. And look who's joining me, one of the top teachers in the game, down from Washington, D.C., a good friend, Trillium Rose. Thank you so much for being here. It's Women's Golf Day.
It's great to be here. I'm so excited to celebrate women playing golf, and I love that we have a whole day for it. So this is really exciting for me. We can talk about a lot of cool stuff.
You know, this is the third year, as I mentioned, in Women's Golf Day, and it was started by a lady by the name of Elisa Gaudet, and it was really just a passion project, and she really took it and grew it, and now, third year, 68% increase in Women's Golf Day. And PGA Tour Superstores, kind enough to host us here. They've got 30 locations across the country doing something very similar to this, but I like to think our party here is just going to be one of the biggest. So we thank PGA Superstores for having us here, and if you've never been to one of these stores, you've got to come because this place is spectacular.
Tons of stuff. And there's so many different things you can look for, not just golf clubs, but clothes and all the other accessories that you might want, towels and tees and all these other things that I think are fun to do when you're playing golf.
Yeah, equipment's big, right? You got to get the right equipment. Instruction has really grown in our industry, and of course Scott Schuster teaches right here at this location. I know Scott for many years. We worked together at the PGA Tour Academy. We've got another teacher that's joining us here, Leslie Fisher. She's right over there. She teaches here in Jacksonville at Windsor Park. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to get Leslie up here in a few minutes. But when you look at basically, you know, teaching in this game, it's had a big impact on the game to get people to play the game better. And I want to share with you a few numbers in ladies golf right now. Back in 2017, there was a record-setting participation in junior golf. The PGA Junior League, which is really doing some terrific work, 36,000 kids, that's 2,900 teams across the country. So when you look at these boys and girls, the girls is the biggest increase that we're seeing right now. And I think that's really cool that we're getting tremendous participation in our game right now at the junior level, in particular the girls. And I know you're seeing that at your academy.
Exactly, and hardly ever have I seen the same number of girls as boys in a sport. So oftentimes in the past it's been just a couple of girls and mostly boys playing golf. Now it's not that. Now it's an equal number, and that's really exciting because they're only 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. What's that going to mean for the sport later on? And I think we also have big role models in golf now. Absolutely. And women's golf is being kind of put on a pedestal and on made stages.
It's a big stage, and it's a good segue to the LPGA Tour. When you look at the LPGA Tour, the health of the LPGA Tour right now, they got 34 events in 14 countries. The record purse right now, $68.75 million. Mike Wan and his team. The LPGA Tour has never been bigger.
Mike, the commissioner.
The commissioner, Mike Wan, has never been bigger. It is right now, and it's very international. And I'm seeing the same thing on my lesson tee. When I first started teaching 18 years ago, it was a lot of boys and a few girls. Now it's 50-50.
50-50.
I mean, it is as many girls as is boys, and that's great to see.
And all different ages too. So I have people starting the game at age 50. I think that's fantastic. Not just age 5, 6, 10, 15. So it's a game that you can start at any point in your life.
Yep, it is. It's a good point. Now, 18Birdies, who the Stripe Show is affiliated with, is a great partner. And I can tell you, no one's probably doing more in women's golf than 18Birdies. A great announcement in their partnership with the LPGA. And they did a terrific case study on women in the sport. And we're going to introduce the CMO here, Susan Song, a little later in the show. And she's going to show us and share some of those findings as well. All right, you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
So we got a big show, everybody. We appreciate you for being here. Now, we're talking, it's the Stripe Show, right? And striping it in golf means that, man, I just hit it right down the middle, right? I had people email me, text me, like, I love the name, but what does it mean, right? Well, when you stripe it, and it's like right down the middle, and also it has reference to when you hit that golf ball with an iron, you catch the ball, then the ground, and you peel that divot, and it's like,
It
Man,
feels
that
like,
felt
it feels
good.
like nothing,
It
right?
feels
It's
like nothing.
Butter, there's no vibration. You just know that felt effortless.
I striped it.
Yeah.
Right? So we appreciate everyone being here. We're going to get into some instruction. We're going to talk about full swing. Everyone's going to walk out of here with a few things for sure. We're going to talk about short game. We're going to talk about putting. And one of the staples of the show that's really gained popularity in social media is something that we call Show Us Your Swing. Now, anybody in the audience or at home, you can always email me your golf swing. And you email it to thestripeshow@18birdies.com. And we do it a little different here. Right? This is not your traditional golf show. We give you independent instruction. We take that video, we give you a full analysis, and then we bring it to life with a game plan. So we've got a live audience. There's no need to do anything digitally here today. We're going to pick someone out of the gallery here, and we're going to do a live lesson that Trillium's going to take it. So what do you think?
I'm excited about this.
All right, so let's see by show of hands, who wants to do a bit of a lesson here?
Interested? Let's see some hands. Wow, there's a lot of people. This is fantastic.
Where are we?
How about you? In the Rip Curl shirt.
Okay.
How
are you? Hi, I'm Travis.
Kayla.
All right.
I'm Trillium.
Kayla.
Kayla?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for volunteering.
Yeah, of course.
It can be intimidating.
A little bit.
So, so give me the quick version of your golf, of how long you've been playing.
So I played 2 years in high school.
Okay.
And that's about it.
2 years? Okay.
That's it. So I haven't
Okay.
played in quite a while, but I'm more of like a surfer than I am a golfer. But I did
Okay.
play 2 years, and I still hit around every once in a while.
Okay, super. So is there something I can do to help your swing?
Probably a lot, I would think. I mean, I wouldn't mind just getting to look at it and just see if there's some
Perfect.
pointers or something.
Great, let's do that.
All
So
right.
why don't the two of us go over there,
Yeah.
and
Let's
we'll
do
come
it.
back
All
in a
right.
minute.
So we're going to mosey right over here to the
Great, so we're going to this
full
way.
swing.
So you're going to hit a couple balls. I'm going to watch you hit, and we'll go from there.
All right.
So 2 years, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
My friend was the coach. And he was
We're
like,
coming
trying to
back here in a
convince
minute,
me to play, and I was like, okay, might as well. And then,
Is that right?
yeah.
Great. So here's what we'll do. So you're going to hit a couple shots. I'm going to watch.
Okay.
And if you have a particular issue, you know, maybe you slice or hook or top it or something, give me a couple things
I
if
feel
you
like,
know.
yeah, I'm not sure which. I feel like I hit it that way quite a bit.
That way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not coming through all the way or something.
Okay,
but
so to hit a couple shots.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. No one's watching.
I feel like everyone's watching.
Except there's 100 people over there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Kayla, you're doing great. Okay, first of all, you've got a great swing.
Oh, thank
You've got a fantastic swing.
Thank you.
So I like a lot. I like your grip. I like your posture. I like your setup. One thing that needs to happen is the club needs to make contact with the ball at the same time. So it's easy to say that, but sometimes it's harder to do that. So one little trick you can do is make kind of half swings. And let's put the ball back and just take a look at the ball. So you're going to look at the ball and you want to hit the ground that the ball is on.
Okay.
So we'll just do one or two.
Keep my eye on the ball. You said?
Yep, keep your eye on that ball. That was better. Yep, that was
a little
better.
better, yeah.
Yep. So you want to hear a sound of ball and ground at the same time.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
one
that
thing.
was more ball, that one.
Yeah, exactly. You could feel it too, right? So make 2 or 3 swings right here.
Okay.
And you're going to hit the ground without a ball, and you're going to find a spot and call that your spot.
Okay.
1 or 2 swings. So there was barely a sound, right? So let's make a little more of a sound. That was great. Now go ahead and hit a ball. Did you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Yep.
More ball now.
Yep, exactly. Let's see one more. So your main focus is ball and ground. Got it. Great. Great. That was better.
A little better.
Yeah. So this is something that you can do. So let's head on back.
Okay.
We'll call this your drill.
All right. I like that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it. Yeah.
All
Right
right,
here.
so you're ready for the LPGA Tour, no?
Not quite.
Okay.
She is ready.
All right, so for our audience,
Yeah.
right, what was A, B, and C? Share with us.
So, believe it or not, A and B were great. I'd say her grip and her setup,
Okay.
great, and her swing was great.
Okay.
We only needed to work on one thing, and that was really contact,
Okay.
center contact.
All right.
So the drill we had was a very, very simple drill, but seems to be easy, but it's hard to do. So that's why we're keeping it to one thing for you, and that's hitting the ground and the ball at the same time.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So your tendency was to hit a little bit high on the ball, and that creates that low runner that doesn't go anywhere. I call it a worm burner,
Yeah.
the bowling ball. So it's good. You can find a little spot on the ground. That's what we did today. You found one spot, you hit it a couple times, kind of get loose, get comfortable, let those arms kind of relax,
Yeah.
and then when you make contact with the ball, you'll hear that same sound.
Great. Great.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much. All right.
Great.
Good around.
Thanks for coming.
So
Kayla.
one of the things, when you take instruction that I think is really important, and we have a lot of people here in our audience, a lot of people tuning in, and it's kind of it's a leap of faith, right? I want to
Right.
get better at the game,
Right.
but I don't want to change anything. I'm kind of happy. I don't want to go backwards before I go forward. We hear this a lot, but it is a sport that's difficult to progress without trying to change something, right? You
right.
got to change something.
Exactly. But the key is not changing too many things at once.
Yeah.
And I think we get caught up in wanting to do well, and I understand that that's a priority, but you have to take one thing at a time.
Right.
So
And that order is everything, right? And that was kind of a 5-6 minute,
Yeah.
kind of quick hitter. But truly knowing you're looking at that and you're thinking to yourself, what's the most important thing that I can tell her
Right.
that's going to improve the probability of impact? Because that's really what it is. You're trying to improve the probability of the impact position. Everybody has a pattern,
Right.
We all have a swing pattern. Those swing patterns suggest certain impact conditions, which suggest certain probabilities of impact, and that kind of suggests your level of play and skill
That's it.
set. So as you start to change those things, that order is everything
that's right.
in starting
You
to
know,
progress.
Kayla's an athlete, and
Yeah.
she has a great swing, and there are certain things you just don't want to change. You don't want to be reinventing the wheel. You don't want to pull your whole engine apart so it's in pieces in the garage floor. You want to just one or two things and see if that the feeling can come out on its own.
All right, good stuff. All right, let's segue here. We're doing a free outfit here as part of Women's Golf Day. We're back here at
Clothes.
PGA Tour Superstore. And I want to introduce a dear friend, someone that I used to work with way back when. And she is Sarah Lawrence. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. And Sarah is the marketing manager of the East Coast. I also know that you're in the Midwest. And I just went ahead and promoted you to the West Coast as well. Okay, so you are in charge of every PGA Tour Superstore in the United States.
And you're wearing a dress. We love golf dresses for women.
We do.
Right?
Yes.
Little
so,
shorts on underneath.
you know, long gone is the, white polo, black shorts. There are so many options and cute things that you can wear now in the game. You don't have to just throw on a polo or a skirt. And we have such a great selection for that between bright colors and patterns and nice details like scalloped necklines and hemlines. And really the biggest trend we have right now, we
Dresses.
obviously knew when,
Do you remember
we were coming
when all you
today.
could find were pleated shorts? Remember? And
Yes.
and the shirts that used to be just men's shirts cut for women, that doesn't exist anymore. Now there are women designers designing for women. There are lines that are fit for every body type, every age. If you want shorter, if you want more discreet and longer, everything.
Absolutely, and how easy and effortless.
I know.
is
Well, that's
this?
what I like. You just
I
throw
mean,
it on.
Just throw it on. Most of them come with a little shorty, so you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Lots of great colors, bright patterns, and we're
Bright colors.
Bright colors.
Lots of
yes.
lots of bright colors. Now,
Yeah.
we're going to do a giveaway, right?
Absolutely.
We're going head to toe. Do we know, and have
Yes,
we
yes.
made the drawing here
Yes.
on who's
Yes.
going to get,
Right here.
a makeover?
Someone's
All right.
name is in this envelope.
All right, let's hear it. Who is it? Sarah, do the honors.
Someone's going to get an outfit and shoes.
Hopefully gave me an easy name.
And the winner is
Tori.
Tori. Come on up, Tori. Awesome.
Yay, Tori. Yay.
Nice to meet you.
Tori's got some
Glad you're
great
here.
bright colors, and
Well, you already look so cute.
Oh, thank you.
You're gonna look even cuter.
Yes, I'm sure. I didn't know dresses were a thing, but I'm really excited.
No, they're a
That's
thing.
Adorable.
They're a thing.
I love it.
excellent. Well, come with me.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna head over this way and find you a great new outfit.
All right, good stuff. So they're going to go find themselves an outfit.
I'm going
and
to.
while they do that, I'm going to share with you a video that I shot yesterday out of the Jacksonville Golf and Country Club. It's a short game shot, and it talks
I'm
about
gonna show
chipping.
you
Here it
something
comes.
I thought was
All right, here I am. I just missed the green. Got to hit a little bump and run shot where I landed just on the front of the green, nice safe spot, and then let it run out. So this is a shot that we have from time to time. I'm not in the rough. I'm just kind of in the first cut and the ball sitting up, so I can hit my chip shot. Minimum air, maximum roll. Now, I've got my 52-degree wedge. That's a shot that I'm going to hit here because I've got a little bit of green to work with and I want it to run out. Now, when you hit this shot, here's what I want you to do. You're going to set the club face square, and then I want you to set the shaft more upright. Okay, I see too many when we set up, we've got the handle down too low, and that gets us too far away from it. I want you to set the shaft more upright, and then I want you to lean it a little bit towards the target, but don't get too crazy with it. Don't get way forward. That gets that leading edge on the ground and a little too sticky. So we're gonna go face square, shaft upright, and then from there we're gonna lean it just slightly forward, and then I'm gonna position my body here where the butt of the club is pointing at me. Make sure you don't get the handle off to the side, but just kind of move your feet wherever you put the handle. That's a good rule of thumb, and get it pointing just left of the belt buckle. Now, from here, feet together, I'm gonna lean a little bit to the left foot, and my shoulders are nice and square and level. Notice I'm not like this. I'm not tilted off to the side, but my shoulders are level. Now from there, I'm gonna take my grip, I'm gonna give it one look, and I'm gonna use my shoulders back and through. Now, this is an extended putting stroke. Shoulders back and through, hands pretty passive. We don't need a lot of wrist hinge. Okay, we just need the hands to be passive back and through, maintaining that little forward shaft lean that we established at address. Now, the one thing that I like to see when hitting these little chip shots, even on these little delicate chip shots, is for the upper body, the torso, to turn and face the target. Okay, that's going to allow you to keep the hands passive, and it's going to allow you to finish low. See the club shaft? It's finishing low. If you're someone who gets into here and you kind of go this way, even on these short little bump and runs, we don't want that club finishing up here like this. We want that shaft finishing low. And look at my torso facing the target. Nice little abbreviated finish. So that setup, that technique should produce pretty solid contact. Ball kind of hops up in the air and then runs out. So let's give it a go here. Face square. Shaft's going to go upright. A little forward. Get my body standing to it here. You'll notice how that positions the ball in the middle, maybe just slightly back. And then a little weight on the left foot. Shoulders level. Shoulders back and through. And then look at this finish here. Nice low finish. Torso facing the target, and that ball landed on the front and ran up there to the flag about 3 or 4 feet. I like this shot. This is a shot that you need, and if you can hit it, you can save those pars more times than not. All right, welcome back to the PGA Tour Superstores here in Jacksonville, Florida. We're live. It's the Stripe Show, and joining me now is the person that made all of this happen with the Stripe Show, the CMO of 18Birdies, Susan Song. Thank you for being here.
Hi, it's great. Very exciting.
Now, I've been with 18Birdies now for about 6 months, and I see all of the great work that you guys are doing in the game. But you're invested in women's golf significantly. In fact, you did a study, a case study in women's golf, and you shared some of the things with me, and I'd like for you to share a little bit of that with our audience here.
Yeah, certainly. We think increasing the participation of women in golf is a huge opportunity. It's great that girls golf is so popular, but in actuality, women are actually only 24% of all golfers. So it's definitely a sport that's dominated by men. And we actually spoke to a number of women just to find out why. And there were a few really interesting findings. One was women just feel they have less knowledge. Golf is a very technical, complicated, I mean, nod your heads if you think about it. It's a complicated scoring system. There's a lot of terminology, handicap, and so they don't have anywhere to go to ask what, basic terminology or how scoring works or how sort of the club system works. And one of the things they ask for is a knowledge center. Give me sort of the golf dictionary. And so those are one of the things that we're building in the app for women. The second thing is they oftentimes rely on a more experienced golfer. A lot of times it's their husband or it's a male relative, and to ask questions about how to play golf while they're playing, and so it kind of restricts their independence and they can't play by themselves. So the most popular or the most the largest question that they had was, what club should I use? They didn't know which club they should use. And that was just one of the questions they always felt they had to ask someone, tell me what club should I use or what's my distance. And so one of the great things that we have is we actually have this amazing feature called Caddy Plus. You put in a virtual, you fill out a virtual club, a bag, and you put in all of your clubs, and it will tell you while you're on the course with GPS what club you should use. So you don't have to ask anyone, you don't have to rely on anyone. I mean, I was golfing with a couple the other day, and the husband was receiving texts the entire time from his partner on what club she should be using, and so it really is kind of a valid concern. And the third piece is that women don't actually have as big of a social and support community and network around golf, and so this is a great opportunity for women to connect with each other and take each other out to play golf.
And when in 18 Birdies, and 18 Birdies is an app, right? For those that don't know, and it's one of the fastest growing in the industry right now. You guys have over 1 million subscribers right now in the app, and that's just in 3 years.
Yes.
Just in 3 years. There's a lot of features in the app, but speak to some of those, I don't want to say they're barriers, but say concerns, right? And from the case study, that within the app can provide a bit of a solution to some of that.
Yeah, well, that's why we're so excited about our partnership with the LPGA. So we are now partnering with the LPGA, and they're going to help us create kind of a women's golf center in the app, where first there's going to be a ton of content like articles, videos, instruction videos, how-tos to help women with that kind of knowledge base. And the second piece, which is really exciting, and Trillium is part of the LPGA as a teacher, is we're going to allow or find a way for women golfers and other golfers to connect with teachers. The LPGA has about 1,700 teaching professionals, and so one of the things that came out of the research is I want to Yelp for coaches. I want to be able to find a golf coach and understand how, if the person's the right fit for me. So those are some of the things that we're doing to really encourage women to be in the golf community.
That's great stuff, and I know every decision, and just being with you and Eddie Lou, who is the founder of 18 Birdies. Every decision you're making, you're not just only keeping the male golfer in mind, but you're keeping the female golfer in mind, and how to get them more involved and empower them, right, to make all these decisions themselves out on the golf course.
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being here. Susan Song, CMO, making a difference in the game of golf with 18 Birdies app. Download it. There's a free portion of the app. Then you can upgrade to the premium, where you get, trust me, all the bells and whistles that you would ever need. Now, moving on, I need to find my co-host, Trillium. I think she's out there shopping right now. And we need to bring her back in because it's time to go to show swing number 2. So Trillium, come right back up here and let's pick number 2 out of the audience. Who is it? Show of hands.
Oh, we've got so many volunteers. Oh my goodness. How about you in the blue? Yay.
Okay. Come on in here. Go ahead, Travis.
Hi, Krista.
Nice to meet you, Krista.
Krista?
Yes.
I'm Trillium. Nice to meet you. Thanks for volunteering. So, how long have you played golf?
About a year and a half.
Okay. A year and a half.
Yes.
Good for
Not very
you.
long.
Let's see if there's something I can do to help your swing. Should we do that? Okay, cool. Follow me.
All right, here we go. Back over to the net.
So we're gonna go this way. Where So I'll give you a 8-iron.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Great
you've
job.
been taking lessons, or how have you?
I take lessons every once in a while whenever I get a chance.
Okay.
I try and play a couple times a week.
Okay. A couple times a week, that's great. Okay, by the way, I love your Converse.
Thank you.
Now, it wouldn't be cool if those were golf shoes. I would love that. All right. Is there anything specific that you do, like an error that you make regularly that I could help you with?
I think for the most part, I top the ball a lot, and
Okay.
I don't move my hips forward. I move my hips.
Topping the ball and maybe not moving the body. Okay. Well, let me take a look. You didn't top the ball there. That was pretty good. Okay. So that was really nice. So topping the ball is when the club comes on the top of the ball. It's a pretty good word because it describes what's going on. So one thing that you can do is make sure that when you're taking your setup, you're bending from the hips and staying there.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, you can make sure your hands are nice and relaxed, because when they're relaxed, then it's more likely that the club's going to hit the ground. Usually, of course, when you have 100 people watching you, it's nervous and you pull in, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
so make a few swings with those thoughts. So I could hear that one was a little bit thin, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So same thing. So you can keep your eye. Where are your eyes, by the way? Are they on the ball?
Probably way out there.
Okay. Well, that's another easy thing you can do is you could keep your eyes on the ball, and so that grass that the ball's sitting on, that's the grass that you want to hit.
Okay.
That was much better. And you have good balance too. So if you're topping the ball, so what do we have? We've got 3 things. What are your things?
Topping the ball.
So what are you going to do to fix it?
Keep it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Keep my eyes on the ground so I hit
Yep.
the grass every once in a while.
Okay, that's good.
Pivots.
That's good. Is that going to be the one that resonates the most? Okay, perfect. Excellent. All right, let's head back.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good job, good job, good job. It's not easy to hit in front of a lot of people.
Ready?
She's
Well,
ready.
year and a half,
Yes,
right? Into the game. You like it?
I love it.
You do. What do you love about it?
I love that I get to go out on the course with my dad and my
Okay.
brother and spend time with them.
Now let me ask you a question, and you have to be honest, guy. Do your dad and your brother try to help you with your golf swing?
They try.
I knew it. I knew it.
So,
Yeah.
They try.
Does it
My
help?
cousin actually helped me the most. He taught me how to play golf.
You did?
Yeah. So
Good. Well, what did we find out?
There's usually a family member that's involved
Yeah.
when someone's learning golf. So I'll love it when I hear, my mom taught me, right? Or you know, my mom was my mentor. Wouldn't that be a nice thing at some point? So maybe that'll be the case coming up. So we had some great shots in the beginning. I really do think that you've got some good potential coming your way with this game. So there was
Great.
one issue. What was your issue?
topping the ball.
Okay.
That's right. And there's one thing that you're going to take away from today. What's that?
Keep my eyes on the ground and stay behind the ball.
Okay. So head behind the ball. So and then eyes down so the club head can hit down a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big part. You know, head gets in front. Right. We come into impact. Head gets in front. Then we kind of swing over the top. So head behind, which is your side bend to the right. You hit down.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
love it. All right. Big
Okay.
round of applause. Thank you so much. All
I've got a
right.
little prize for you too. So there you go.
All right. I need you to find some people who would love an 18 Birdies hat. Anyone would like an 18 Birdies hat?
I see a.
And while she's doing that,
Oh,
got
great.
this.
That's how this is gonna go. Here we go.
All right, now I've got this sporty Agio bag here from Callaway that we're going to give away, but we're not just going to give it away. It's going to be a trivia question. Everyone listening? Who won the Ladies U.S. Open on Sunday? Winner! Come on up. Come on up.
That was good. And she can even pronounce her name. That's fantastic.
Very impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you
What's your
very
name?
much.
Myra, thank you for being here. All right. Very impressive.
And she won
Aria.
in a playoff.
Aria Jatanagard. I know we got some junior players here. What was really impressive, okay, about that, Aria is a terrific, outstanding player, and her sister Moria. They both work with Gary Gilchrist, and she had a 7-shot lead, right? A 7-shot lead, and she lost it.
37 in the front, I thought.
Yeah, lost it. Went to a playoff, right? And they get to the first playoff hole, and the lady that the girl she's playing with makes birdie.
It's a 2-hole aggregate
Two
playoff.
holes, excuse me. Yeah.
So they had 2 holes to play.
Yes, and she made birdie on the first.
Right.
And who's the first person clapping? Aria. Just lost a 7-shot lead. And she's like clapping for her opponent who just birdied the first hole.
What a strong soul that is, right?
It really is. It's unbelievable. And she came back. She won it. She's really a sweetheart of a girl, and congratulations to her. All right, moving on. It's yoga time.
Yoga.
Right. It's yoga time. Now, we're going to.
The guys are like, what? Yoga?
Well, here's the thing. Yoga in the game of golf, I'm going to tell you, it has really gained speed. Big time momentum.
Speed, flexibity, strength, coordination, balance, speed, all of that, agility, all of that.
Yes.
Body awareness.
Men's tour, ladies tour, the numbers just continue to grow. It really has had an impact at the professional level, and now we're starting to see it in the amateur level.
Yeah.
It really does help keep the body ready to play golf. So I want to introduce one of the top yoga teachers here in Jacksonville, Florida. Her name is Allison. Come on in. Come up, Allison.
Hey, Allison.
Hi.
Glad you're here.
Thank you for being here.
Glad you're here.
Owner of the Yoga Den, right?
Yes.
And here in Jacksonville.
Yes.
And we were talking earlier, you've seen an uptick in golfers, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now,
male and female, and I think that some of the women are coming in and they're learning it's their secret weapon, and so some of the guys come in.
Oh, so it's their secret weapon.
Yes, it's their secret weapon.
Secret weapon.
Yeah.
So in yoga, in a nutshell, right? Flexibility, strength, kind of
range of motion, focus, concentration,
breathing.
The breathing is an amazing component, and all the things that you use in your game. I just heard you with the last student talking about lean back, that side bend. So just all of the shapes that we make really serve the sport well.
Okay, so I'm going to be your student.
Okay.
All right.
I love it.
I'm not yoga certified by any stretch, but
that's all right.
I want to focus on 2 areas, right? Because when we look at golf, there's 2 areas I think are really key. And rotation puts a lot of stress on the body in golf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
The torque, especially at a high speed.
At high speed.
With your spine.
Yes.
We know shoulders are important, but I want to talk about the thoracic spine because that spine movement.
So that's your upper spine, right?
Upper spine,
like
middle.
Like from middle up.
And then the hips.
And then the hips.
All right.
Hips.
So you're gonna show me and the audience a few things
Can't
here.
wait to see this.
So
Grab a golf.
I'm gonna grab a golf club.
All right.
Okay. Don't
So
make
the
fun of me.
first thing
I'm going to make fun of you.
you do is you can hold the golf club up overhead with your arms out and just kind of lean to the side.
So this
Get
is
that lateral spinal flexion. This is just going to open up your rib cage, and I just kind of saw you reference that, and so that's going to stretch out the little intercostal muscles that are going to be really good also to help you breathe deeply. And then getting a little bit of rotation while you're there, you can just do a little shift from side to side just to warm it up.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing is in yoga, everything is balanced. So in golf, you're swinging one way. So in yoga, we're going to get you in and do it both ways. So you're really serving the whole body and you're not getting out of whack.
Okay.
So then another thing that we can do, which will also come into your hips. So you might want to set that down.
set it down.
A little stability. You may want to hold on to something. And, okay. So this is going to open up the outside of the hip. So if you cross your foot over your thigh, and just take a little squat, and then the closer you take your chest toward your shin, you're really going to start feeling the outside of that hip, that IT band, and that nice. So that's going to keep the outside of the hip nice and stretched. And if you flex that foot, it'll help to stabilize the knee as well.
Is this eagle?
That's bonsai. This is bonsai. That's eagle.
That's
You
eagle,
got
right?
it. We've got a yogi here. All right.
Hurry, 5 seconds. I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we can do one that will kind of open up your inner hips and thighs and give you a little rotation at the same time. That's good. You did the other side, right? Equanimity. All right,
feel that big time right there.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And you can just hang out, have a couple of deep breaths, and that'll really loosen you up. All right, you up for doing this? Going a little wider.
This is yoga?
Yeah. Turn your toes in a little bit. And then take a forward bend, and you can bend your knees if you like to, because bent knees are going to actually help you loosen up in your low back. And then you might want to either bend your knees enough or take your feet far apart to where you can get one hand comfortably down on the ground.
You're not
because it's
supposed to
gonna
bounce,
stabilize
right?
you. No bounce, just ease into it. There
And
you go.
breathing.
Deep breathing. So while you're taking that deep breath, maybe you're going to take this hand and just twist it out to the
Isn't
side,
bad.
maybe even up toward the sky.
Okay.
Can you do that a little twist? There you go. So you feel that in the inner hip and thigh.
Yeah, right?
And take that
You guys are going to need me to finish the show off, so just be careful here.
Are you seeing stars?
Yeah.
Well, first thing is when I forward bend, right?
Yes.
Just the hamstrings.
Yes.
Alone,
Bend your
right?
knees.
Yeah.
Bend your knees.
And hamstring length is so key in
Yeah.
golf and just trying to get into posture.
Right.
And tight hamstrings, we start to roll in, and that starts to show up. So just
Yeah.
right out of the gate, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, my hamstrings are really lengthening out here.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're getting so much bang for the buck.
Now, when I'm here and I'm reaching,
Yes.
and we're starting to get that thoracic working,
Yes.
opening up.
A great range of motion.
Yeah.
It can realign the spine if it needs it. It's going to stretch you and strengthen those core muscles.
Talk about the ankle for a minute.
All right.
And just kind of like ankle mobility and is yoga, and that's going to help with that
A
too.
lot of the different shapes. Well, this one that you did is going to
Yeah.
help you to strengthen those muscles that surround the ankle so you're nice and stable. But, you know, when you come down and you immediately rotate your femurs the way you did, then you're
Yeah.
stretching the outside of the
Outside of
ankle,
the
especially
ankles.
when you kind of go forward. So all of these shapes really, it's very holistic.
Yeah.
Not trying to use a hooey word,
Yeah.
but just the whole body really comes into these shapes. And that's the beauty of yoga. It really ties everything in. You can do one shape and get so much out of it.
Great stuff. We really
Yeah.
appreciate
Oh,
you
thank
being
you.
here. Thank
I
you very
enjoyed
much.
it.
Thanks for coming.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
All right. So we're going to segue here. Thank you. And we're going to move on now. Now that we're nice and limber, we're going to get into kind of a. Have you met over here? My co-host Trillium Rose. And we're going to talk about a segment now. It's called 14 Strong. For those that watch the show, what we do in this segment is we pick one club. All right. And we're going to take that club and we're going to break it down and we're going to talk about it and really kind of give you some things here to chew on with that club. And I figured, well, this week,
You have the driver in your hand.
let's get the driver
Give me
out.
the driver.
Who would not like to hit the driver
We love the driver.
a little bit
Women's
longer?
Golf Day, power.
Power, right? So how do we create
Right.
speed? So you got your driver?
Yeah.
Let's get it out. Let's get your driver out. All right. So we've got our driver, and I want to talk about speed, the creation of speed, right? And when we talk about speed in golf, there's really two speed factors. One is club head speed, which we're going to get into
That's right.
here primarily, but some of the things we're going to show you is going to help with ball speed as well. And ball speed talks about how fast the golf ball's coming off the face, which basically is how solid you're hitting it in the face.
Like if you're jumping on a trampoline, I always ask the kids, where's the best place to bounce? The middle,
In the middle.
right? It's the middle. Why is the middle the best place to bounce? You're going to get the most spring. The
right.
same with the golf ball. So you can easily get probably the easiest amount of speed just by hitting the center of the face.
That's right. In fact, you can probably increase people's distance more by not increasing their club head speed, but by increasing their ball speed.
Right.
Which is basically showing them
That's
how to
right.
hit more of the center of the face, which
That's
gets into technique, which gets into all that order of
Right.
improving the probability of impact. But we're going to talk a little club head speed here, and I want to start with the setup position. And when you look at the setup with the driver, I think the driver is probably one of the hardest clubs to set up to
Right.
in the game of golf because the ball position's so far forward in the stance.
That's right. And what people often don't think about is every club in the bag, all of the clubs in the bag, you're meant to hit the club downward and hit the ground. This is the only one that you don't want to hit the ground. You're actually hitting it on the upswing.
Right. Yeah, and an attack angle, the upward movement is
Up.
going to help power because we
That's
know
right.
that as we swing up on it a little bit, you can launch the ball a little higher
That's right.
with less speed. When you hit down on it, the ball is going to roam around in the face. You're probably going to spin the ball a little bit more.
It might even pop it up,
Might even
the dreaded
it
pop up.
Is that where you get all those really cute marks on top?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't have any.
So we got to keep the club head off the ground, right? I'm going to put a ball right here. I
Okay.
want you to set up to that ball, okay? And I want you to talk about some of the things that you work on in the setup position.
Oh yeah. So number one is the ball position. So Travis, you said that off the front foot.
Yeah.
I'm a righty, so it's my left foot. So if I laid the club down, it's right off the inside of my instep.
Right.
The second thing is to tilt your upper body away a little bit. This is kind of a backdoor approach to swinging from the inside. So you don't have to think so much about how you're swinging. If you have that set up nicely, this way you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah,
Puts my head behind the ball.
So if I could, everybody in the audience, everybody at home, if you're not tilting your spine to the right, you're robbing yourself power, guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You show me a
Yeah.
professional golfer that
Yeah.
doesn't tilt a little bit this way,
Yeah.
and I'll show you a professional golfer that doesn't hit their driver very good.
Right. And so here's the thing. So when you're doing the side bends, if you just start by reaching down to the right, notice how that puts a lot more weight into the right foot. So you don't want to be all loaded up on that back foot. So in order to counterbalance that, just nudge your hips towards the target just to balance yourself out.
Yeah. All
Right?
right, so go there one more time.
Here
now,
you go.
here's what I was talking about with the forward ball position.
Yeah.
Right now, Trillium's got the ball off her left heel, okay? What happens, the tendency is we face the forward ball position,
Oh, yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
gravitate up to it. If the ball's in the middle, it's easy to kind of keep yourself right there.
Right.
But that ball goes forward, we start facing it.
Like that.
Now the
Like that.
spine's leaning left,
Not good.
shoulders are open,
Bad.
club shafts forward.
Terrible.
We call that job security in our industry right there, okay? So, you might want to keep doing it because you could just keep showing up. Or you could just, off the left
Yeah.
heel,
Left heel.
tilt the spine to the right,
Boom to the right.
hands are in line with the club head.
Hands in line with the club head.
And I got to tell you, I have a lot of success with players, okay, feeling like their upper body is looking more over here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So what that means is your chest is facing the zone to the back of the ball.
Yeah.
So instead of facing the ball, you're facing a little bit back there.
Yep, absolutely.
That's great. I love
love
that.
that setup for
I
the
love
driver.
that.
Right?
And then here's the thing. You
Okay.
want to keep that. I don't want to whack anyone back there. Whack.
Oh, you're
you
good. You
want
got plenty
to
of room.
keep that feeling
There you go.
as you're coming down.
Yep.
So once you set up, kind of maintain that
Yep.
that notion of facing right there
Right.
as you're coming through.
Right, so everybody in the audience, stand up like this, nice and neutral. If you're a right-handed golfer, do this. Tilt to the right. That's called side bend right. Go back to address. Whew,
We look like we're on a boat.
I think I might have pulled something in that yoke. So now go to the left, okay? So
Yeah.
that's side bend right, side bend left. If you're a right-handed golfer,
you're gonna-
you get in side bend to the right. At address, when you hit the golf ball, you stay in side bend to the right.
Yeah, so I actually look pretty similar
Yeah.
by the time I hit it as I did when I set up.
Right.
Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like almost the same.
Absolutely, look at that. What's changing is the weight's left.
Yeah.
You're turning, but she's still in that side bend.
Yeah.
Okay? Excellent. Let's talk about the backswing, because I've had already a couple questions. I get a lot of questions about the backswing,
Yeah,
right?
tons.
We don't hit the golf ball with our backswing,
No.
but usually the better the backswing in amateur golf, the better chance you have then to square it up,
Sure.
right? So let's talk about the recruitment of power. Where are we going to get it with the body to the top?
Okay. So I'm a big advocate of feeling grounded and secure and strong from the lower body. So number one, squeeze your glutes and make sure that you feel like your core, meaning your abdominals and your abs and your hamstrings and your quads are strong and engaged. And so when you get to the top, so when you're doing your backswing, your abdominals are doing a lot of the work. It's not just hands and arms whipping the club back. Right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that gets you set up for a nice, kind of a nice movement. You're rotating your shoulders. So you've got that shoulder rotation. But I don't want to sway back onto that back foot.
Okay.
Right? So your legs, they're strong from the beginning. You feel like your weight's on the inside, but you've got full shoulder rotation. That sets you up,
Yeah.
kind of like a spring, where you're ready to make your transition.
Good.
Powerfully.
So that right leg provides some stability.
This guy.
And one of the things that I would add to that, your trail leg, if it's just even in the audience, if you're standing there and you start turning your shoulders, like let that right leg kind of draw back behind you, that hip.
Right. So the hip feels like it's going back
Yeah.
towards, I have
Behind
a
you.
wall behind me.
That's right.
But back behind you.
That's right.
Love that.
And it's even okay to let your knee
Straighten up a little.
straighten up a little
If
bit.
it needs to be, sure.
Yeah, especially as we get older, we lose range of motion. Let the trail knee stand up. Like you do oftentimes exercises like this where you're just turning your hip and let your leg stand up.
Especially if you have back issues.
Absolutely, absolutely. That right hip leg can offer a ton of recruitment
Right.
to the top of the swing. Now,
Right.
we're going to start down, right?
Okay.
And when we start down, we start with our upper body.
Nope.
Okay, we
Nope.
start with,
So upper body would be that.
Yeah.
That's nope. So you're pushing off from this foot. You're pushing up with this leg.
Yep.
You've got your you know, your thoracic spine, your abdominals kind of turning through it, and the clubs, you're feeling like the hands are just being pulled along.
Right. Look at that impact position. See her weight's on her left foot, but she's still in side bend right. You know, that's a skill, a pattern, a disassociation between your upper and your lower that you can learn how to do away from the ball.
Yeah,
It's hard to
Totally.
it's hard for a lot to just put your weight left and turn, but stay in side bend to the right.
You know, that's where yoga comes in
Yeah.
too. That body awareness, and one muscle group's active and the other is relaxed,
Yep.
and you know, one's doing this, that's doing that.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, impact position, upper, lower,
Yeah.
disassociation and impact is not natural. There's nothing natural about that, right? What's natural is having your shoulders and your hips stacked up together. This feels comfortable. I could stand right here for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
My feet would then get tired, but it'd be difficult to stay right here for 2 hours,
Yeah.
right? Because my left hip is screaming right now, you know, and I could even feel a little bit kind of in the trail of my foot right there. It'd be difficult to do.
You know, back to your concept of speed with the driver too. I think the other thing is feeling soft with your hands,
Yep.
but strong with your legs and your
Right.
abdominals. So you're back here. You want to feel as though your hands are relaxed so that they can kind of turn over. Your arms are nice and long and extended. If you're feeling like you're doing it with your arms, they're going to be pulling in. The face is going to be open. You're
Right.
going to swing left, and a myriad of other issues.
Right.
So,
All right. So the audience, stand right here for me again. Ready with your spine? We're getting educated on spine angle. So which way is right bend? Which way is left bend?
Right.
Now there's only two other options, forward and back. Ugh.
We're not doing back bend.
You feel that dish? Right? Now, when I swing through, tell me of those four which my spine is in. Watch this. Here's impact, impact. Now I'm going to swing through. My spine is to the right or left? Is my spine back or forward? Back. Okay? So one of the most common errors, sorry, I had to address the audience. One of the most common errors in golf is when people swing through, that really detracts from speed and centerness of contact, is we swing into it, the spine goes left and forward, down. And usually as a function of trying to stay down, right? So oftentimes with the driver, to help them hit up on it, you stay to the right, and then as you turn through, look at my back. It extends back. See this? Right? And that keeps you in her, go ahead and swing, keep swinging through, right? Keep swinging through. Look at her spine. See how it's kind of, you can see it tilted back, right? Call that extension. That extension in the spine, that's healthy for your spine, and that keeps you in your spine angle and is big time in trying to get the club head to swing up and then really accelerate back around the left shoulder.
I love it.
All right. So
Now, is everybody totally confused?
no. Well, you know, spine angle, I mean, on the surface really kind of is confusing because I think we try to stay down, right? Like we try to stay there, and the reality is in golf, your spine is moving.
It's moving.
It's moving, and it's in right bend, and as you swing through, like it does take on some extension, and I think that's a concept that once people wrap their mind around, boy, it makes
Yeah.
a huge difference. Huge.
That's right.
In particularly with the driver. So that's 14 strong. We hope you got a few things from that on how to hit the driver more solid in the face, because that'll definitely help that, but also it's going to pick up the RPMs as well. Now, second video, huh? Yeah, we're going to the second video right now. I'm my producer. I was like, I'm not even wearing an earpiece. He's still after me here. Now, so we're going to our second video here. This is a video that I shot yesterday at Jacksonville Golf and Country Club, and this one's about bunker play, which I know many need help with. Well, I missed the green and got in the green side bunker, and I know this is a shot that can give a lot of you some trouble. And I've got a good lie, but I've got to hit a shot here that has some trajectory to it and lands in there about halfway, and then of course runs down that hill a little bit. So how do we hit these green side bunker shots? The first thing to understand is we need some speed. Okay, we need some speed when we get in here. And I'm just going to demonstrate here a little bit. And I know you can't ground the club, but for instructional purposes, I want to share a few thoughts with you. The first thing here is when you set up, and we're setting up for speed here, I want you to get your feet fairly wide. And of course, we're going to dig them in a little bit, but you don't need to dig them in as much as you think. I think the more compact the sand, the more you can kind of get down in there to help get down below the golf ball. But there's plenty of sand in here, so I'm just going to get my feet just a little bit kind of dug in. And then when I set up here, the club face, I can keep it square or maybe just a little bit open, depending upon how far the shot is. This is a fairly lengthy bunker shot, so I might just go slightly open. You don't have to get in here and get that face way open on every shot. You can be a little conservative. So just slightly open in the face, got my full swing grip. Now, when I set up here, I'm going to take the club shaft and I'm going to set it pretty neutral, in line, or maybe just a little bit forward. The more compact the sand, I would lean that shaft just a little bit more forward. The more sand you have to play with, you can keep it a little bit more in line like that. Now, like all short game shots, we're going to kind of lean into the left foot and make sure our sternum here is over the ball. Don't get hanging back this way in a greenside bunker shot. So I'm going to step in here, might grip down just a touch, face slightly open, lean into the left foot. Now from here, I'm going to take a fairly big swing. Arm swing back, arm swing with the wrist hinge, but I'm going to stay left. Right? I see a lot of you taking it back too short. No wrist hinge. And then you violently got to swing your arms through, and that's not what we want in here. We've got to get some leverage. Arm swing with the hinge. Let your shoulders turn, but stay left. Okay? Don't let yourself load up into the right side. Now, from here, as that club falls, I'm going to turn my chest through. See how I did that? I got my torso really zipping through there and splashed that sand out of there. I like to think of that match, lighting a match, that tight acceleration through impact. I'm going to do that again. Big arm swing with the hinge, and then I turn my chest through. Right? I just didn't let it fall and stop in the sand, right? Where everything stayed right here. I turned through and propelled that sand out, and that's the key. So here we go. Club face just slightly open. Weight a little left. Arm swing with the hinge, and then I'm going to turn through. Just like that. Lands on that knob, and I didn't quite hit it hard enough, but I'm out. I hit the right shot, could have used a little bit more speed with the torso coming through, but that's how you hit a greenside bunker shot. And if you can use some of this, I know you're going to get out of the bunker more often than not. Hopefully that helps out of the bunker. You know, bunker game is not easy. I don't buy the notion that it's the easiest shot in golf because you're not catching the ball first. What do you say?
No, I think it takes some practice. I think there's a formula for it. Personally, I don't think you have to overcomplicate things, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward. You know.
Yeah, it is different though. Like because we've been talking right bend and extension through impact. You get in a bunker and you're like, okay, now I got to get more into left bend, get my sternum over it. So it is a little different spine angle, and it's a different kind of interaction with the ground.
It's its own shot.
It's its own shot, but I really find that when people understand the setup difference, right, then you can really kind of take the same swing in essence and get it out.
It's like a recipe. You just just do a couple of things differently.
Like
a little bit more weight on your front foot, like you said. And you definitely have to splash the sand. You have to have an open face. And the thing I think is probably the hardest to really get used to when you're first learning to play or getting good at bunkers is that sand's going to slow the club way down. And so you have to swing a lot faster and more aggressively than you may think, right? And it's a little scary making full, fast, hard swings when the flag's only 10, 15 feet away.
It's a good point. Right? It is. It's a full swing. It's a lot of speed, and you're just trying to hit it 10 feet.
There.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so hopefully that helps in the bunker play and chipping. We're moving on here. We're at the PGA Tour Superstore in Jacksonville, Florida. We got a beautiful live audience right now. We're covering some ground. About 20 minutes ago, we sent a young lady by the name of Tori with Sarah Lawrence, the sales manager for the PGA Tour Superstores on the East Coast.
To look up an outfit, to find outfits. So I was over there too, by the way. There are tons of options, clothes everywhere.
And, all right.
Oh, you look so cute. Oh, I love it. It's so modern.
A little modern,
Look at, we could be on the same team.
Boom.
It's all blue and
I
white
like it.
stripes here. So
Yeah.
Puma does have these great sweaters. It's a little different, no collar.
Okay.
No
Cute.
You know,
But
very,
sun
very on
protection.
trend. Yes,
Yes.
even with the men, the blade collar, the collar was very, very big.
Popular.
We're able to do that in a little different,
And
cute way
fitted,
here.
right? So you can still swing,
Yeah.
but you don't feel like you're wearing a body, one of those wetsuits. You just
Totally functional.
It still looks stylish, but not and stretchy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So comfortable.
Very comfortable. Comfortable. Yeah, just pull on it. It's fine.
Just pull it on her. Yeah.
How you feel?
So good.
You feel good?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love the skirt.
And the shoes.
You know, yeah, the whole outfit really matches. I love
Yay.
it, and it's so comfortable. It's adorable.
Yay.
You're so helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're great. Thank you
Yay.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. I appreciate it. Sarah, thank you. All right. All right, we're getting you in here towards the Stripe Show. We appreciate everyone being here, and of course, all of our Stripe heads online out there following the show. Time for Q&A, right? This is something that we do at the end of the show. We have a mailbag, people sending in questions, but with our live audience, we figured we'd open it up to the floor here. Anybody have any questions?
Anything's
Who
a
we
go.
got? Someone's got it. There we go, back here. Yeah, so the question is what's your spine angle on a fairway bunker shot,
Yeah.
like 100 yards,
100 yards.
versus kind of a short green side shot? And I would say that your sternum, when you look at, I'll go ahead and demonstrate here for a second. If I was in a-
Assuming there's no big lip, so you're going to hit a,
Yeah.
a 7-iron or something.
Yeah, so if I was in a fairway bunker, right, the first thing I would do is grip down slightly, okay? And then I would get in there and I would move, I'm gonna get this ball here, I would move the ball back in the stance just a little bit, okay? I would have just a little side bend to the right, but here's what I would do. I'd lean everything to the left, right?
So your weight's being sort of pushed. So you're setting yourself up here, kind of angles, and then you're just kind of drifting left?
Right.
Yeah.
So I got my top button, I got my belt buckle, slight side bend,
And then
I
everything
would
just goes
equally
bzzz.
go this way.
Do you
Okay.
grip down on it a little?
Slightly, yeah. Now, in a greenside bunker, I would get my sternum, I'd get this button a little more on top of the belt buckle, maybe even a little left of it, and then lean left, okay? And I think that kind of manages the spine appropriately for the distance of the shot.
And if you can pick it a little clean in the fairway bunker, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good question.
Great question.
I love it. We're talking spine angle in the golf swing. Question number 2
Right there.
comes from?
Since you're here at the Superstore PGA and look at all these putters right here,
Yep.
tell me how to pick the right one.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. You want to start with
Yeah,
that?
so the question is, how do you pick the right putter? We've got about 1,000, maybe 2,000 putters. So I like to start with someone's original putter when I'm ever refitting, just to get a sense of what their style is. If somebody tends to bend forward from the hips, I'm gonna be okay with any style putter. If someone really likes to be upright, I'm not gonna necessarily gravitate towards a mallet. I might have more of a blade because it's gonna arc a little bit more.
Yep.
That's the way I start. I'll definitely have some success with people just crossing things off the list based on feel and look.
Yep.
I think a lot of it's just, what do you like looking at? What feels right? Does this feel right to you?
Right. And so much of these designs are to obviously appeal to the eye, right? And to Trillium's point, I could look at that and like, I don't like the looks of that, and you're like, man, that's terrible. How do you even look at that?
Or
right?
I could love it.
Yeah, right. So that's important. The other part of it is picking something that's going to help you line up, right? You can see these are 3 little dots on this Odyssey. You got the 2 wings. Every putter is going to be a little different in lines and balls. It's going to help you line up. The one thing I would say with ladies golf in putting in general is most putters are too long. Okay, most of these putters in here are probably 35 inches, maybe some 34s. And when you start bowing forward and you want to grip it and have a little bit of elbow bend and tucked underneath, you want your elbows in putting, traditionally to kind of be a little this way,
Sure.
kind of tucked under,
Yeah.
and then grip it.
Not like
You don't want to be out like this. You want to be more this way. And what I found, Trillium, is that when ladies get in there, 35 inches is way too long.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to be gripping down to 33, 32 and a half. So don't be afraid to grip down if your putter's 35
That's
inches.
exactly right. And you'll know by setting the putter up. So if you set it up and it's up like this on the toe, and that feels good to you
Yeah.
with a handle like this, and it's way up on the toe, you know, may not be the right lie angle.
Right,
so
right.
you first set the putter down so it's flat on its bottom, kind of like a rocking chair. You don't want it way up in front or way in back, but kind of like that. And then set your body up to it and just kind of sense, does this feel about right? You know,
Yeah.
does it feel about right? My eyes are over the ball.
Look
You
at
know,
that. She's gripping down about 1.5 inches right now, just
Right.
naturally 2
Yeah.
inches in doing that. It's a 35-inch putter, and I'm
Yeah.
6'4",
Right.
and me that feels pretty
I
good.
have a 33-inch putter.
33?
Yeah.
There you go. There you
Right.
go. Yeah, absolutely. Another question. We had someone over here. Someone here. Where's my junior golfers? Come on. Question is, I need help with this. Distance control from about 100 yards.
She must be a player. That's
Yeah,
a pretty
she's a
specific
player.
question.
I was talking to her earlier.
Is it-
She was telling me about her golf game.
I-
So the question is distance control from about
Here's a hat.
100 yards in it. The one thing that should happen for everybody that plays when you get into the sport and you're playing something, you got to have an idea of how far you hit your clubs.
Yeah.
Right. What's cool about 18 Birdies is, as Susan was mentioning, you can track those distances and they'll calculate and they'll populate into those clubs. So it's you that's telling how far those clubs are going, and then it's going to help you make decisions
It's
based
so
upon.
helpful,
It's
right?
very helpful that way. In controlling distance, there's really two things. The answer to that. One is controlling your speed in which you're turning consistently, right? So I have a 90% speed and I hit that and it goes X distance. You should be able to then take a little off of that.
Right. Go a little bit slower or a little bit faster.
Exactly.
So you can have the same size swing, but just like adjust your tempo.
Yeah. Off speed.
Right.
You need something that's off speed. You need to have kind of okay, this is my full, I feel comfortable, boom.
Right.
That's my distance. Here's my off speed, right? And that I take a little 20 yards off of that. So you got to get in control with your speed. So there's kind of two things there. One, and the other is as you get closer to the green, and one thing that I would encourage every golfer to work on is being able to hit shots where you are quantifying having the shaft a little forward, right? One of the things that interrupts distance control is kind of the inconsistency of impact where we flip it, right? So what we find is as you get closer to the green and being able to kind of return the shaft forward and turn, you start exposing the same amount of loft, and you can kind of flight the ball down a little bit, and that helps the brain in feedback for control. So what I would say is be able to hit some shots where you have the shaft forward as you get closer to the green, and then develop that off-speed distance with your body, and you can start to dial in some distance control.
You know, building on that, I love that drill, and I often teach a very small swing where you start ball middle, weight forward, and you have very minimal wrist. You just go back maybe hip height to hip height.
There you
So
go.
what you're talking about in that returning the club shaft to the same place,
Yeah.
that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Then once you have some success with that, your club bottom's out in the same place, you see the ball flight kind of more consistently, then gradually make a bigger swing. Right?
Yeah.
So if you can start
right.
paying attention to what that ball's doing, where it's going, you actually can control your distances great.
I love that. Start small, kind
Start
of
small.
work it out, right?
Yeah.
30, 50, 60, 80,
Right.
utilize your different
Right.
clubs. Now, real quick on that, put your lead hand out. Everyone in the audience, their left hand comes out, right? Like you can make your left hand flat, right, or bowed, kind of push it out a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of good. When you hit a golf ball, full swing wedges, you want to bow it a little bit like that. Now put your trail hand out, okay? Now bend your right wrist back like that, so your right wrist is bent back. See that? Okay, now go like this. Now don't ever do that again. All right?
Yeah, never.
Keep your right wrist. You want so your trail wrist is bent, right? It's coming in like that, and then this lead wrist is flat. The more you can do that and educate your hands to do that, right? Those controlled wedges, wow, you start to really improve the probability
Not like
of
that.
impact. No, not like that, right? Never again
Not like that.
are you going to do that. I want to thank the audience for being here today. I want to thank our viewers at home tuning in to the Stripe Show. I want to thank PGA Tour Superstores for hosting the Stripe Show today. Sarah Lawrence, sales manager, Ryan Corey, the manager here in the Jacksonville area. 18 Birdies continues to put out great content, one of the best apps in the game. I encourage everyone to download it. Susan Song, thank you for being here today. And Trillium, you did an awesome job, my friend, my co-host. Big round of applause for
Happy
Trillium
Women's
Gross.
Golf Day.
Look for Trillium's content in the 18Birdies app. It's really cool. We've got a lot of neat instructional content
Good stuff.
coming out, lesson plans that you can follow in the app. It's not just instruction that lives out in space. It's very organized, and we take you through different full swing, short game, and putting. So look for some of Trillium's stuff there. We appreciate you viewing in. You know the drill. We'll see you next week on The Stripe Show, same time. Thank you. Great. Good job.